Hello, welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I'm Stevie B, happy to have you all with me today as we are here on Planet Cyrene, continuing our series on exploring Cyrene and having some great adventures doing it. Guys, I'm here at the Ark Immigration Zen Teleporter, so let's take some big sips to get this one started. In the last video, we talked about the Cyrene Acid Armor Plate Limited Blueprint Unlimited, the one that we had to go to several waypoints to get the blueprint, and we talked about how that blueprint is going to be very important in our crafting mission chains. So if you guys will stay with me till the end of today's video, I will give you some key information that you're going to want later on down the road, but that will be very, very important. So today we're going to talk about those jellyworms that we talked about at the very end of the last video. So here at the Ark Immigration Zen Teleporter, we're going to come over to Captain Wrigley. Now, you might recognize this. This is the teleporter that we came to when we did the test of strength, Pix Pollen, and when we do our hand-ins for Cyrene Mission Tokens and get the Zendo Hunting Mission for Mission Tokens. But we're going to come talk to Captain Wrigley, and he's going to give us a mission called Getting Slimed. So getting slimed, we have to go to a certain waypoint and kill 20 jellyworms. They specifically are the Bile Jellyworms, and our reward will be 2 Cyrene Mission Tokens. So now we have the mission. It gives us a waypoint indicator on our radar, and it should show us on the map where we need to go. We need to go right here. So we're going to go over here to the Hive's Edge teleporter. That's going to be the nearest teleporter. And there's something very special about this spot that you guys might find useful, that you guys might find handy while you're doing this mission. So the good news is that this is a mission that kind of checks a couple of boxes for us. First of all, it's going to allow us to get some Cyrene Mission Tokens, which we know those Cyrene Mission Tokens have great markup, and we can sell those or we can use them in our crafting. We're going to be using them very, very soon as we're doing these daily crafting missions. The other great thing that we're going to be doing is as we're hunting these Bile Jellyworms, we're going to be working on our Jellyworm Codex. Now, as I told you guys in the last video, Jellyworm Codex does indeed have skill set 4 skill rewards, meaning that on Codex ranks 5, 15, and 25, we can get those very, very rare skills we can't normally get with Codex. Stuff like analysis, zoology, biology, a lot of those skills that go into our looter professions, computer, which goes into our robot looter professions. So that's one of the reasons we want to do this, in addition to the Cyrene Mission Tokens. But we can actually triple dip because these Bile Jellyworms are very, very, very low level. They're perfect for low depot, free-to-play players and newer players. They're not that hard to take down. And these drop what we need to make that Jellyworm Leather, which is what we need in order to make our Cyrene Acid Armor Plates. So notice that these guys are only level 3. They're very, very small. In fact, if we pull out our scanner, we scan one, we see that they've only got 10 stamina, which means that they've only got 100 HP. So these things are pretty easy to take down, pretty easy to farm. And all around me is almost exclusively the level 3 Bile Jellies. Now, every now and then, every once in a rare blue moon, I think there's like a level 9 that pops up around here. But almost every one of these, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3. That one over there, yep, that's a level 9 Rancid Jellyworm. But we can just stay away from him. And the great thing is these level 3 Bile Jellyworms tend to drop the Jellyworm Hide that we need so often to create that Jellyworm Leather. We refine the Jellyworm Hide into Jellyworm Leather. And they tend to drop from these level 3s. Now, there are other places where there's level 5s, level 6s, level 9s, and I've tried them. They just don't drop the Jellyworm Hide as well as these little level 3s do for some reason. So these level 3s are really where you want to be, and this is the best place that I've found to find the level 3s because it's almost exclusively level 3s. Everywhere else they're mixed in with 5s, 6s, and 9s, and you kind of have to maneuver around the other maturities, versus here you can just come slaughter level 3s. Now the Jellyworm Hide does tend to drop a whole lot, like back to back to back to back, and then it'll stop for a while, and then you'll loot a whole lot back to back to back to back, and then it'll stop for a while. So you kind of just got to get lucky in your timing. But if you come here to do this Cyrene Mission Token daily, which it's a daily for Cyrene Mission Tokens, so this actually resets every 21 hours, not 24 hours, 21 hours. We're going to be getting those 2 Cyrene Mission Tokens as a reward, and we're going to be picking up the Jellyworm Hide that we need to make the Jellyworm Leather, so it's a win all around. Now, here's something else that's really important about this particular location. Remember when we got our 200 ARC faction badges, and we were able to start getting our ARC faction daily missions for mining? Remember, we got 5 of them. One was to find, blue crystal, one was for yellow crystal, one was for Zornstar ore. Well, what was one of those mining dailies for ARC faction badges? Let's pull up our mission log real quick, and let's take a look. That's right, there's one for Kazanite ore. Well, Kazanite ore happens to be an ore that you can find right here at this very location. So this same exact location where I'm hunting these level 3 bile jellies to complete the Getting Slimed repeatable daily, I can actually be dropping some mining probes looking for Kazanite ore, which happens to be located right here at this location. It is on this server. I have indeed found it here before, so we know that you can find it here. And that will allow us, if we can find 3 claims of big enough size, which the sizes that you need are very, very small, to complete that ARC faction mining daily. So there are a whole lot of reasons we want to be here hunting these level 3 jellies. Now, I've completed the mission. I'm going to head back to the captain, get my 2 Cyrene Mission Tokens for the day, and get this mission reset so I can start working on the 21-hour cooldown. So hopefully by now you would have farmed some Jellyworm Hide that you can refine into Jellyworm Leather, and bada bing, bada boom. Now, between the ultimate ARC faction hunting circuit and the loot that we've been saving from that, mixed with the Jellyworm Hide that we just got here that we can turn into Jellyworm Leather, we should have all the loot that we need, or close to it, in order to be prepared to do our ARC faction daily crafting missions. Now, that's going to be broken into 2 parts. I've got a part 1, which are the daily crafting missions for ARC faction badges you will be doing quite often, almost on a daily basis or bi-daily basis, and that will include the Cyrene Acid Armor Plate. And then there's a part 2, which is another section of daily crafting missions for ARC faction badges, and that set you will do a lot less often because you just won't have the inputs as readily available. So those are going to be the next 2 Cyrene based videos I intend to release, is crafting dailies part 1 and then crafting dailies part 2. And then after that, we're going to move into a lot of the adventures we can have here on Planet Cyrene. We're going to check out a lot of the rewards we can get with our ARC faction badges, some of the ways we can turn our ARC faction badges into cold hard PED, even though they're not tradable, even though they are account bound. There is a way we can do that. There's several ways actually, so we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at some of the epic mission chains, some of the historical mission chains. There's a lot of good stuff coming, but we need to knock out these 2 crafting videos first, so that we are properly set up to move forward. So before we do, I told you guys if you would stick with me to the end of today's video, I would talk to you about something special about jellies that will come in handy in the future. So we're going to go to auction. And we're going to look for Pristine. Now, there are different Pristine elements, Penellion, Tideclaw, Stalkerbot, and you guys might have heard of these before. These are what you need to upgrade your armor here on Cyrene for the upgradable armor mission chain. They're very valuable, they're rare loots, and as you guys can see, they've got considerable value. They've got relatively low TT value, horrendously high market because they're hard to get to drop, and therefore they've got lots of demand, very little supply, equals pretty high prices, right? Well, one of the pristines that is highly sought after is the Jellyworm Pristine. Because of some of the things that have happened with this armor upgrade mission chain over the years, which we will get to in later videos, the Jellyworm Pristine is one of the most sought after pristines that there is. You can actually use it for 2 different versions of the Cyrene armor upgrade chain. Hold on one second, guys. I'm having a connection issue. And we will get to why there's 2 different versions later on, like I said. But the biggest thing is getting your hands on the Pristine. Now, the Pristine can potentially, from what I'm told, can potentially drop from any mob. However, to get the Jellyworm Pristine specifically, you will be wanting to focus mainly on the level 31 corroding Jellyworms, which have 2,250 HP. So from everybody I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people in the know, I've talked to people who run websites dedicated to Cyrene, I've talked to the development team. From what I've been told, the Pristines can drop from virtually anything, but the odds of getting one of these Jellyworm Pristines to drop from one of these level 3 biles really is not good. But these Jellyworm Pristines are highly, highly, highly sought after. Probably one of the most sought after pristines for the armor upgrade mission chain because of the way the mission chain works. And I can tell you guys, everybody I know personally that has looted one has looted them almost exclusively from the level 31 corroding jellies. So if you are working your way through the Jellyworm Codex and you're going for markup and you've been doing these level 3 bile jellies and doing this daily getting slime mission, and you get to a higher level rank of Codex, like rank 15, 16, 17, whenever you get into those higher ranks, you're going to have to cycle a lot more PED to get through each of those ranks. Whenever your progress really starts to slow down, where hunting level 3 bile jellies is great for getting the hide that we can turn into the leather to turn into Cyrene acid armor plates, but it's not good at all for using for Codex, you might want to think about splitting your time and doing these level 3s for those purposes, but then going to hunt some bigger level 31 corroding jellies, specifically looking for those Jellyworm Pristines that are so highly sought after. That might be a good way to get your Codex progression to pick back up once it slows down to a slow creep where you can barely even see the needle moving just because you're not cycling enough on these level 3s. So if you're looking for some good markup, if you're looking for a way to get your Jellyworm Codex progression moving again when it seems that it has come to a halt, check out those level 31 corroding jellies, and hopefully you guys will get lucky and drop one of those very, very, very sought after pristines. So guys, I will leave it there for today. Sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. As I said, the next 2 videos will be parts 1 and 2 of the daily crafting missions for ARC faction badges, and then we'll move on to a lot of the really good stuff that you guys are absolutely going to go gaga for. Till then, please head over to earnped.com. When you earn, we earn. That is the best way you can help support us. Simply use the links on earnped.com to go to hideout.tv. They will automatically add us as a redemption option for your hideout points. Guys, please do, as the banner says at the bottom of the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. You only have to do it one time. It's absolutely free. And hitting those 2 buttons keeps you up to date with all the newest content we post, changes to the game, events that are going on, news that's breaking right then and there that we want to get out to you before anybody else does. We want to keep you guys as up to date as possible. Plus, staying up to date with our content just helps you learn how to play smarter, not harder. And guys, please do as the banner says and hit the like button on every single video. When you hit that like button, you do a tremendous, tremendous amount to help us combat the haters and the trolls that are out there. But more importantly, hitting all 3 puts our videos in front of people that YouTube knows are into MMOs, real cash economy games, PC games. And we're still getting reports of people saying, hey, you're absolutely right. I was messing around on YouTube. YouTube knew that I was into PC games and real cash economy gaming and stuff. And one of your videos popped up. I'd never even heard of Entropia before. And I started watching the videos, I started watching the channel, and now I've downloaded the game. Now I've already been to Camp Icarus and North Swamp Camp, and I'm out exploring the universe and getting ready for my first mayhem. Would you please thank your viewers for hitting subscribe and like and the bell icon? It's all because they did that I saw this video. Because of that, now this is my hobby. Now this is my passion. Now this is the game that I love. Now this is the game that I don't ever want to not be able to log into again. This is the game I wish I would have found 20 years ago. You guys deserve to know you're making that impact. You guys deserve to know that by hitting those buttons to support us, you're making the impact of sharing this game with people who are falling in love with Entropia for the very first time. That is all due to you guys. I can make the videos. You guys have to help me get the exposure, and you're doing a tremendous job, so please keep it up. Till next time, guys, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, Stevies.